like some, I know this is our first year of Bruce Ballot, but there is some Lamar fatigue, I think. And I also, just narratively, like what changed in that offense? It's Derrick Henry. And I think people are tired of having to be a quarterback award. Time now for a segment so hot, my grandmother keeps a little bottle of it in her purse with a homemade label on it that says, hands off. It's upset alert. We usually start with coach.
Well, no. We usually start with the standings.
We usually start with the standings.
And
sorry.
KW, I thought you'd look
you
at.
really are charged.
I mean, you have closed
give you credit.
the gap. Brew also got a good win yesterday, but Wilds last week got a 10-pointer.
That's a big one.
Picking the Patriots over the Jets.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Coach and Greg, they
haven't had one in a while.
Before the fall.
Is it 3 straight weeks?
3 straight weeks.
Right.
3 straight big fat
they
L's. Not
got
even
full
a
of
cover.
themselves.
They got a little too full.
So Coach is going into his College Football Hall of Fame. So he's not here. Congratulations, Coach. But he taped a piece yesterday because he had to still, team player, him and Greg. One note from our statisticians on the staff. They said, Wilds, please mention that since he taped this yesterday, some of the rankings moved a little bit with the Jets win.
Got it.
I know otherwise if I didn't say that, you would be walk out of your living.
You know what he should have done?
What?
He should have said, I know it's Thursday night, but that's my upset alert. Because he did pick the Jets. That would have been they were favored.
They were the
weren't even
favorites.
upset. Right, you're right.
Should have just let Wilds
My
keep
bad.
going.
They should have not been the favorites. They should have been the underdogs.
Hey guys, I know you're missing me desperately, so I wanted to make sure that I got my upset alert in for you. And I've been feeling pretty good about my upset alerts, and it was looking good last time with New England up 10-0 on Jacksonville, and then Jacksonville decided to wake up. And that's really the theme of this week, where I see Miami Dolphins and their offense waking up. Tua comes back last week. He has his first game, and this offense is completely different with him, and I think we're going to see an offensive explosion. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, Buffalo's been on a roll, which is true. They've won their last 3, but those 3 teams they've played against are combined 7-16. And when you look at Miami Dolphins defense, they're top 5 in yards allowed. They're top 5 in passing yards. So they're a lot better than you think. And this is also a little bit of a revenge game for Tua, because remember, he got hurt last time against the Bills. So for all you bettors out there, take this, and I hope it makes up for some of the money you lose on Nick's picks.
What? I didn't think that. That's just uncalled for.
That's unnecessary.
You don't need to do that.
That was the best part. I loved it. Coach!
Nick's picks been making people money. Also, real quick before you go, Brew, we did review the official upset alert rules. No points awarded for the Freddie Freeman.
Oh, but fair.
That's why we post the rules, so everyone knows what it is. Brew is so happy right now.
Wilds is ticked off.
I think it's fair.
You didn't know this was coming.
The problem is I get so much stuff right, the whole thing.
All right, Brew.
Well, you couldn't have given Wilds points without me, because I was the only one on the set.
You're right. You know what? It's a slippery slope. We don't want to do that.
All right, look, I alluded to it earlier. I got the Cowboys.
Wow.
They're 3.5-point underdogs in Atlanta, and we know Nick agrees with me. Look, and I get it, Wilds. You are right. There are logical reasons to think, look, Atlanta is very good at running the ball. They got 2 good running backs, right? And Dallas has trouble against the run. And Atlanta, unlike it was the Giants and some other team the Cowboys shut down on the ground.
Oh, yep.
But Atlanta's not that. They're not a tomato can. They're like a legitimately decent team, just like the Cowboys. They're both common. But they're not going to lose every game going forward. Every game the Cowboys have coming up, we can make the same argument you could make for the Falcons. And some of them even worse. But Philadelphia and all these other teams they play, Washington, Cowboys are going to break through and win some of these games. I think they're going to have a tough time making the playoffs. I think Philly is for real as far as being a playoff team. And obviously Washington's playing great. So I'm not saying the Cowboys is going to solve all their problems. But I do think this weekend, backs against the wall, season's over if they don't get it done. The Dallas Cowboys bring their A game and go into hot Atlanta and pull off the W.
Tune in Monday. Monday's 8
I mean, they'll get
He's
an
just
F.
setting himself
If they
up
don't
perfectly.
play well, they will get an
That's
F.
the thing.
I call it like I see it.
This is an old trick that I thought you were bigger than.
No.
Which is
Sports media, it's a meatball right now.
I mean, it makes it so
Fooled again.
No matter
So-
what happens in
No.
this game,
You win.
You get to gloat.
It's fantastic.
It would be
That never even crossed my mind.
It would be as if when the Chiefs-Bills game in a few weeks comes up on Friday, I'm like, you know what? The Bills are stopping
Well,
the
you
undefeated
think you picked
season.
the Bills, earlier in the year. You thought they
preseason I did, and so maybe you know what? Maybe I'll do just that.
It's time now for the Puxatawny Phil of football to make his upset alert. Why do they call you the Puxatawny Phil of football? Weird name. Because you covered in fur and live in a log? Just a coincidence. It's because I can predict the future. I'm predicting the Raiders going into Cincinnati.
Oh,
Coming away with a W. I know you're saying, hold on, into Cincinnati? The Bengals home field? Exactly. How are the Bengals doing at home? Well, I'm glad you asked. Patriots, lost. Commanders, lost. Ravens, lost. Eagles, lost. How? Good on the road, not good at home. Guess who the Raiders are going to show up with? Max Crosby, who was supposed to, be in his way. Orlando Brown Jr., who is now doubtful for the game. So Max Crosby is going to tee off on Joe Burrow. We saw Joe Burrow struggle with that Giants defense where they got the W, but it was like, what's going on there? And then, of course, it's Joe Burrow, who, of course, you can never criticize because he did go to a Super Bowl a few years ago and lose. Joe Burrow, last few games, 234, 181, 208. It's tied for the longest streak of throwing for under 250 yards in his career. That, combined with the injuries, T. Higgins doubtful. I see the Raiders beating the Bengals.
That's a good argument.
And we're going to have a real serious conversation. Is it time for the thought to cross your mind that when we are in New Orleans, that maybe Joe Burrow and the Bengals aren't there?
I don't think they're going to be there.
It's going to be hard for us as a show.
Listen,
I'm the only one that's
if the Raiders win this game, Wilds, I will buy you lunch every day next week.
Wow.
I will. And not only will I buy it, I won't go out and get it. I'll have it delivered in every day next week for you.
It's like 2 days of you getting it.
What did you say?
2 days of you getting it.
Deal.
Okay.
That's
You'll
fine.
take that over 5 days.
Yeah, that's fine. I vehemently
far away.
disagree with that.
Far away.
Okay, I vehemently disagree
How
with
about
that.
one day getting both of them?
Okay, no,
Deal.
can we?
Okay,
Hey,
'cause we're-
KW.
Yeah, that's a deal.
This side of the table.
Time now for Nick's picks.
It is time for Nick's picks. Another winning weekend. 2-1.
Rolling.
Had 3-0 robbed from me because of the Bears Hail Mary, but still 13-10-1. And I was watching Breakfast Ball this morning, a little bleary-eyed. Watched Danny Parkins. A little premature gloating from old Parko, talking about how his picks are beating me. He name-checked Colin Cowherd, saying his picks are beating the Blazing Five. This is like a...
Flying too close to the sun, rookie.
I sent him a text, Wilds, that was just a gif of Icarus. You and I are thinking exactly alike. And so, Nick's picks this week, we will start with, for the first time all year, going back to an old favorite, the prince that was promised. Jags getting 7.5 against Brew's beloved Philadelphia Eagles. Trevor, the last 4 weeks, 109 rating, 275 yards per game, 72% completion. The offense has not been the problem. The defense has been. Philly, 0-5 against the spread their last 5 home games. Hurts is a big favorite, more than a touchdown. 3-8-1. Go ahead, KW.
A little Doug Peterson back in Philly, a little something.
Well, you know what? That was on the sheet. Yes, Doug Peterson, super revenge game. He didn't like how he went out there. And even if the Jags are getting rolled, 7.5?
Yeah.
Can be down 31-17. A nice Trevor backdoor cover. I think the Jags can win outright. I think they are definitively scoring at least 24 points. So Philly would have to score 32 to cover. That's not happening. Jags plus 7.5. Next, from the Prince to King Caleb. Bears win outright, getting 1.5. Arizona, huge comeback win last week. That actually bodes very poorly for teams the following week. Teams coming off a 10-plus point comeback the next week are like 40% against the spread. Also, West Coast teams who played on the East Coast and then go back home, 41% against the spread. A little reverse jet lag situation. You don't like that, but it's true. Also, here, how about this one?
Okay.
Arizona, has won back-to-back games. That is the first 2-game winning streak for the Cardinals since 2021. First 2-game winning streak for the Cardinals. They're not getting a 3-game winning streak, not with Caleb locked in and focused, having grown men talks. Chicago's desperate, Bears plus 1.5. And last, my favorite bet of the week, the Rams laying just 1 point. Seattle's defense has allowed 29 or more 4 of their last 5 games. I think this Rams team could, I'm not picking them to, could make the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I don't like that Puka got banged up in practice today, but they think he's going to play. The Rams go to Seattle, score 30 points, win the game outright. Jacksonville plus 7.5. Chicago plus 1.5. The Rams laying just 1 point in the not so scary anymore Lumen Field. Interesting article this week about what happened to Lumen Field.
What happened?
Home field advantage. You know what? I didn't read it, but I saw the headline. It means it must. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.